So Ben Pengilly here, CEO and owner of Onset Octopus, the first vertical production company in Europe, in the UK. I'd like to say the best as well. We've been operating in the vertical scene for about 2 years now. We shot the first BL1 Mafia Lover in April 2024 that went viral. And since then, we're just growing from strength to strength and trying to market ourselves and network as much as possible and just take over the scene really as much as possible.
This is Emma, and I'm from China, and I am the executive director and the content head of Onset Octopus. I met Ben this year on LinkedIn, and I am currently helping Onset Octopus to find more clients on this vertical industry. And also we have a 22-person of writer team. We write the localization script and we write the original created script for this vertical market.
Can Ben introduce more about Onset Octopus?
So we've got, I'd say, about 4 directors that work for us at the moment. 2 of them is Irene Maffey and Dan Lowenstein. I'm sure you guys who are aware of the vertical scene know about Dan and his work. The first vertical that he worked on was the Mafia Lover project that we've shot, and since then he's just been getting stronger and stronger. I'd say he's definitely one of the best vertical directors in the scene. We're planning to bring in more directors as the months progress that we can train up as vertical directors to try and take on more projects. We're open to working with any platforms worldwide as well. I feel that our insight from Emma's side, coming from a writing side, and my side from a production background, really does make us a very capable and strong company to work with. I've got 15 years of experience in production. Emma's a really strong writer and also has contacts with other writers in the scene, which means that when platforms need support from a writing perspective, it really does help. Reach for cast is second to none. We've got contacts in LA and London, worldwide really, to really nail the casting requirements from the vertical scene. As we all know, casting is super important in verticals, so we can cover that. We have, I'd say, about 5 in-house production managers as well. We can cover multiple verticals at once very easily, and we have a very strong post-production team as well who are skilled in AI and VFX.
How did you two get into the short drama industry?
So this started around March 2024. I was working for a company, I believe they're not around anymore, called Luminary Tech. They've now liquidated themselves, but I was working on quite an interesting project. It was kind of a virtual reality type project, and from there they were like, we have a vertical project that we should shoot. And at this point, verticals didn't exist in the UK or Europe, I don't think. I had no idea what they were. I was like, a vertical project, okay, that's quite interesting, let's look into this. Found it really interesting, how viewing narrative content on your phone was really addictive as it is, and that was kind of the next step. As soon as I worked on the first project, I was like, this is going to be the next big thing. Since then, it's exploded all over Europe, and we've realized it's huge in China and America already, and I think it's definitely going to take over the whole of Europe, and it's going to be the next main way to view content. But long story short, that's how I got into it.
So my story is starting from 2020. Back then, I was taking internship in Beijing, and I am in a architecture company. But the first week, my boss told me that, Emma, I see no talent in you in architecture. I was like, oh. And back then, the industry of architecture is going down. So I started writing my own novel from 2020. And then I went to Sydney in a financial company doing the marketing and all the sales stuff. And then I back to Shanghai and write China vertical drama in a Shanghai company. And one of my work called is Billionaire's Escape Wife, which is really hit in $20K US in the whole production. But we earn like 1 million Chinese yuan in just 1 week. We also wrote interactive game and also vertical drama. So that's how I started it. And then I go to the international vertical market, and I starting from writing script, and this year I met Ben and starting working as the exclusive director, doing kind of the producing and also the business development things.
In your opinion, what is short drama?
Everyone knows that well, we're seeing a lot more now that being on your phone is highly addictive, right? So people are, they love watching movies, they love watching content, whatever. People need something to fill their time with, and having narrative projects that you can view on your phone with, super quick cliffhangers and super engaging stories and stuff is an absolute no-brainer for something that's going to become, very lucrative from a business point of view. So that's kind of what I see the short dramas being, the next step in kind of filmmaking. I'd say it's probably as big as, say, the first film that was shot on film, for example, on 16mm. I'd say we're near enough at that point now. This is a complete next step in filmmaking. It's the next step in, how audiences are going to view filming and productions and that kind of stuff. I definitely think it's the next step in viewing content as well, and on that side of things.
What's the essence of short drama if you have to define it?
The essence is highly addictive viewing. You're getting an audience hooked on content and narrative stories that before they just wouldn't be hooked on them. For example, even if you're not necessarily interested in viewing something on your phone, it does grab you. You can't say it doesn't, purely because the dopamine release from viewing on your phone, and also cliffhangers every 1.5 minutes, is something like that is definitely going to grab you. So I'd say highly addictive viewing content on your phone from a narrative perspective would be overall how I'd kind of explain it.
So I think if I have to use 3 words to define why this short drama is so highly addictive, I think the first word is building dream. It builds dream for audience who watch it. And the second word is it can help you to achieve something in your mind, but you can't achieve in your real life. And the third word is in the middle of something, because many of the short drama audience, they are like 24 to 40 female, and maybe she is a housewife or she works really hard, but life is just not as good as it might be. So they might be short drama to help them to feel like she can be the one that in the short drama she will have a billionaire to save her life or make her life a lot of better, and you can live in a real better life. And it helps them to live in that dream when you open that vertical and spend the next maybe one minute or next 10 minutes or next 1 hour, and it can directly cure your pain or make your life feel better, but at least it can help you like feel there's still hope, or I can be that one in the future and my life will be like that. If I have to use the most important word, I think it is the making a dream for the audiences.
Is there any genre that are unique to short dramas?
I think apart from the billionaire genre, there is also some new genres like the stepbrother, stepsister, and also the young adults, like forbidden love. Like I fell in love with my dad's friend. Or also there are something new like Real Short. They're doing that. A company is fire someone who shouldn't be fired. Like the boss just fire a lawyer who is really 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 important, or fire a genius doctor, something like that. That is new. And for our Onset Octopus, we're also shooting some interesting genres like the boy love, and also like the mafia and some political things they're trying. For example, the Luigi one, but that doesn't make high profit. Maybe they're just testing the market to see how those genres can getting them more audience, more downloads. Some genres they're using this to make money. For example, the billionaire one. But some new genres they're just trying to test the market, like how we can get more audiences, how we can let more people know and download our applications.
Ben, what's your take on that?
In this day and age, every idea has been done, in my opinion. What is a new idea? You know, everything's recycled from an original idea, an original thought from somewhere. You know, you look at everything now, it's really hard to find a new original kind of idea and concept for stuff. I think some of the BL stories I think would be hard to find and mimic in previous content shown in film and TV. Even some of the alpha werewolf type ones, that's all been done before. The vampire stuff all been done before. CEO type stuff, that's been in a way it has been done before. That's why it's so difficult to find the next big thing that people and content providers think is gonna sell. I definitely have some ideas of projects that could potentially be done in a vertical way that hasn't been seen before.
Why do you think so? The BL stories are unique to vertical short dramas.
The more progressive we are as content providers and audiences and stuff, you will see more of these stories pop up. You know, but for example, LGBTQ type stuff you didn't see any of that 15 years ago, you know. Now you see more and more and more, as it should be.
Why do you think short drama is the future? Why short drama go viral?
It's just the statistics don't lie, right? People are going to the cinema a lot less, you know. People are starting to watch stuff on Netflix and all this kind of stuff, you know, at home instead of going to the cinema. And the stage after that is viewing stuff on your phone. For example, I'll be watching a TV series that I really like on TV or a movie or whatever, and I'll just feel myself like going on my phone, you know, subconsciously reaching for my phone and looking on my phone and not even watching what I'm actually planning to watch. So surely you just put what people want to watch, like film narrative wise, on their phone.
I really agree with Ben. So sometimes we got the phone addiction because we're in the middle of something. For example, we're in the middle of walking from one place to another, or we are waiting for a subway, waiting for a train, or we just want to take a rest. We grab our phone. So that's quite different from how we watch a movie or how we watch, for example, Netflix. When we watch the Netflix, we have to be concentrated and we have to be focused. But when we watch a vertical, I'll say it just naturally draw you in. You don't have to be focused. It has some different or interesting things which draw you in. It's like a place that make you to escape in it and forgot the time is flying. And also in China market, I just heard that the China top one vertical application name is Hongguo from ByteDance. Its daily views and downloads number has just passed the Youku and another like long video applications which have run over the 10 years, but Hongguo just launched 2 years. It already got more user time or user downloads. So I think, yeah, definitely the money and the audience, I would say that class or middle lower class or people in not just top big cities, in that small cities, small town, those audience are the major user will download, will watch the vertical in the future. Just like a shopping application name is Pinduoduo in China. At first, it launched. We all believe that nobody is using it because it's so cheap. It's like quality is not that good. But turns out that it has become the best and the biggest application in China because we still have many people who is not rich and not living in the big city. They're not speaking in the internet. For example, they won't post in Instagram or post in TikTok. They're just living their daily life, and maybe their life is not easy. They need something to make them feel better or just spend their time while they're in the middle of something. So yeah, I firmly believe that vertical will be our future.
Have you guys found any shifts or trends in the way those scripts are written?
I would say that over time, the quality of the writing is increasing slightly, and a push towards higher production value, higher acting for the main platforms anyway, is actually increasing, and that's good. That's the way it should be. You know, I think in time, the budgets hopefully, you know, and the production value will increase because there'll be more of a, larger audiences, European audiences that are maybe more interested towards higher production value and that kind of thing, that will kind of make the scripts kind of evolve and get, the next level up.
I just chat with some my friend who used to work for Real Short, and their boss told them to not write from the 1 to 60. However, they write the magical moments first. Those intimacy moments, or those who people have fight or some interesting things, they will using this intimacy or magical moments for their advertising in Meta or in YouTube. So they write those first and they highlight them, and after that they start building their story based on that. And also another interesting thing is that when I just wrap up a script, and my content head told me that you have to be more bold and more direct when you write the action lines. For example, he just hate that body and like slap him and he fall into the ground. Like delete every scenes or every action that cannot be shoot directly, and you have to like show them how these people get beaten or how these people like use some direct action to show the audience this will happen in a fast and in the straight ways. That's a lot of difference between the movie script. I used to work with some script writer who only wrote a movie script. So they would just say to me like, why do you tell me my pace is too slow, or adding more up and down, adding more intimacy things, adding more interesting things that make bad people look like nuts. Because yeah, that's how Vertical runs. We have to be exaggerated, we have to be fast and hook our audience in the every episode. So in this way, it's really different with the movie script.
Oh, what kind of script is too slow in pacing, and how do you change that? Can you give me example?
I used to write one with another friend, and we form a story. The female actor just arrived in New York, and the male actor who is a billionaire, but no one knows that. So they just met each other in the subway, and they fell in love. So this thing have take us like 10 pages because we want to like emphasize how we feel and how we think. It just like something like Fleabag, or we want to make it beautiful, make it like the audience could have imagination, make it more true. But in the vertical world, maybe this whole story just happened in 1 minute at most.
Hi, I'm Maggie Han, founder of Short Drama Alliance. People think short dramas are innovative because it's short or vertical. But the real game changer is paid traffic. That's what reshaped how short dramas are written. I explain this in my booklet, Short Drama Writing 101, links in the description. Are there any formula behind the hits?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it? I think if, people knew the formula of what the next big thing is going to be, they'd be the top rank. I mean, you know what? I think within the top ranking platforms, they probably do have an idea. You've got people that, religiously watch so many verticals, and over time, they're going to have an idea of what the next big thing is going to be based on data and everything. But to be fair, you still don't know. Really, you don't know. It's like asking me what is the next stock that's going to rocket in a stock market. You don't know. You can have an idea of what the next viral sensation is going to be, but you don't know. I think the only way to know is to try new ideas and engage new audiences.
You have to know your audience, like what they want, what they think every night. For example, there is a producing company in China. They have just launched a really, really good vertical, and it just hits like 1 billion views in 1 month. The first 3 sentences is really interesting. I think the first one is that I can't get up at 8 a.m. this early for the first class. And second is that she's asking her college mates, can you just, when teacher asks where I am, can you just say something to cover me? And the second one is that this food in this college is just killing me. So it just targets the college students, and it fully understand how how for Chinese college students worries and what they're thinking every day. And they're using some quite hot phrases in the internet to make audience feels that, oh, they know me, they feel me. So I think if a vertical really want to go long and go viral, for overseas verticals, we have to do the same thing. We have to know what our audience is thinking every day, what they are worried about, how they really want. It's not just that like we want to build a dream to save their life. We have to understand what they're worried every night and how they're going to spend their day, something like that. We have to do the interview, or we have to talk with our real audiences.
So not just from data perspective, but also from the audience perspective.
Sometimes from data, you only know the data, you don't know why. You just know what, you don't know why. The data is like, it can't just tell you everything. For example, you wrote those magical moments and you put on advertise and you got more downloads. It's just because maybe they're hooked by your first 3 seconds, or they think this is interesting. However, if you want to build a long-term and increasing in revenue, you have to really know your audience to keep them, to make them continue to watch your content, not just let them download. Otherwise, they will just watch it and they will go. You have to keep them.
Most of the overseas short dramas in the market right now are mainly CEO or romance stories. Do you think there are other genres that deserve more attention, and why?
I wouldn't say any genre really needs more attention than another, because the whole point is, is to find what the next viral sensation is and what the next audience. I'd say that the project that needs the most attention is the project that's going to get the most sales and the most views. I don't think that too much verticals are at a place yet where they'll start to have an impact on real political issues in the world, like you see in certain feature films and TV programs and stuff at the moment. I thought it's more going to be what's going to get the most people viewing it, what's going to grab the audience's attention as much. So I'd say, I guess that's the next big thing, isn't it? Something that hasn't been done before.
I saw a really interesting one. Real Short is doing that. They found 40 people, like 20 male, 20 female, and they make a show to let them fall in love. It's in their application, but not fully vertical drama. They just let those people like naturally fall in love with each other. It's more like a show. So they're trying this new genres, and we're looking whether it goes well and whether it's gonna attract more audiences. And I think maybe in the future, those vertical applications, they should try like what Mr. Beast or other interesting short video producer they made, because I think this vertical it doesn't need to always tell the romance of CEO story. We got many other stories, but the reason they keep telling this story is because this is safe and this can always helping them to make money. Just like what Disney and Pixar did, they always tell a kind of the similar story, just like saving the cat. They have a whole kind of formula, but they're sure this formula can let them continue to make money and to like they got different IPs, always the same stories, but they just tell them in different ways.
I've noted the Pride and Prejudice, you made that short drama, right? And I think it's quite popular. Can you dive into what makes it stand out?
So American and Chinese audiences seem to really like, I could be wrong, but this is what I think, seem to really like, the British accent, the British stories, that kind of thing. So having a really well-known period type drama brought into a vertical format is a no-brainer to what would definitely sell to people and what would entice that audience. I know people went crazy for it. Who doesn't want to see that kind of thing on vertical format if they're really interested in the British historical period and also the kind of romance that went along with it.
Yeah, and our name is Pride and Prejudice. I think many of our audience have already seen the movie version or the drama version, so they're just curious how this gonna be in vertical, and they will just download or they just open it. And also our costume and our makeup and our character, they did really good job. So it comes really good in how you look at it. It's beautiful and it's nicely shot.
That could be a formula, that to choose a very famous this kind of book and to readapt it into a short drama.
Yeah, I can definitely see it being a thing. If the story's worked before, it can definitely work again. And also, you've also got an audience that have previously seen that story that would be interested to see it in a vertical format. So, yeah.
We can always do that old story, but we tell it in a new way. But when we do verticals, we have to add like magical moments, for example, the intimate scenes or the hooks to let our audience click or download. This is a must because this is how vertical run.
How is the short drama industry in the UK right now? Because a lot of short dramas are shot in LA. And what are the advantages of filming in UK?
I feel it can be stretched a lot more than what you can get in America due to budgets and stuff. You know, the unions aren't as strong in the UK, which means you can get better deals with crew. Again, it all depends if you have a good producer or not. You've got access to really good locations, historical locations that you can't get anywhere else in the world. The same level of cast is really strong over here. The crew are really hardworking, like they always have been. UK crew are known worldwide in the film industry to be, you know, some of the best, to be fair. And that's definitely going to be replicated in the vertical scene as it grows over here. Great locations, great cast, great crew, strong with budgets.
Many of our clients said they really like how we shoot, and the color and all the things are just beautiful and so different with things in LA. It's just so London or so UK.
How are short drama emerging in Britain?
So at the moment, I'd say Europe and the UK is completely untouched by the vertical scene. It's so new here, you know. So that's the next thing. The European market is currently wide open for the vertical scene, and that's going to be the next big thing. But they have to nail the type of scripts and stories that can appeal to those audiences.
There's gonna be slightly different from different countries. Their audience like different things. For example, the vertical we bring to US market or the vertical we bring to Japanese or Korean market is totally different. For example, the Japanese audience, they like more in the office story. The US audience won't so addicted to that. And also I talked to a producer who make the Middle East market is totally different. Middle East got more male audiences and the content they are interested in is so different from the North American market. When we want to like attract more UK audiences, they're gonna have a slightly different like in culture or in how they gonna like the things they gonna like, even though they both speak English, but the things they like is different.
Ben has a background in film and commercials producing, and the cinematographers and director working with you, they might have backgrounds in long form producing. How did they transit from traditional filmmaking into short drama?
Every director is like, oh, I can just do verticals and stuff. It's not necessarily the way, because you know, you're bringing a director or a DOP who's used to doing long form, high end TV, and they need to understand that the verticals is a completely new beast. It's its own thing. It's not high end TV. It's not a feature film. It's not that. They're used to doing longer takes, so this kind of thing. With verticals, that wouldn't work at all because of the attention span thing. So like from that sense, bringing in new directors, new DOPs, you really do have to kind of teach them the way to do it. Someone who hasn't done verticals before, doesn't understand the kind of content side of it, I think would struggle just to jump into it, because they need to get that it's not just a feature or high-end TV on your phone. It's not that at all. It is really its own thing.
What's the difference besides pacing?
I'd say the way it's not just the pacing in the script and the dialogue. I'd say the way it's shot has to be super quick. I'd say maybe the acting is a bit over the top as well. For example, in features and stuff, you'll have quite long takes, quite in-depth, you know, performances and stuff, where with the verticals, it's a lot more kind of like, maybe a bit more like theatre, a bit over the top. It's just really quick and, you know, kind of get the attention in that sense.
we always see that when we choose an actor, he used to work at films. His expressions will be more subtle and not so exaggerate. So we always tell them to give us more exaggerate and more strong, like expressions. Because in the film, they just show it in a more subtle way. For performance, is a big difference. And for script writing, also the same thing. I think it's always the same in the China market. So in the application Hongguo, they will just prefer to hire actors or actresses who used to shoot vertical before. If they just have the long, the horizontal, vertical, or just the film experience, they're gonna take them like time to get used to it, how to act in a good way, in the right way.
Those actors should act very big expressions. Why is that?
Because maybe in the film you're gonna stay here for like next 1 hour and you have time to taste the story or you have to watch it again. But verticals, you have to hook people from the first 3 minutes or first 1 minute. For our audience, you're in the middle of something. It's quite different from the film or from the drama. So that's why we have to use a more strong way of expression of the feeling of the whole thing. We have to be fast and have to be strong feeling and strong intimacy things, that kind of stuff.
As a female executive producer of yourself, do you think short drama give you more opportunities in this industry?
Yeah, I would say definitely yes, because this whole industry is new and it's fast. I met many people from the vertical applications and new writers and new directors, and I would say none of them will judge me because I didn't have a like 10 years of experiences. They just want to make sure whether I can do this or whether I'm the right person. But if you want to shoot a movie or you want to into that cycle, that's the whole different story. Maybe you should first graduate from a film school in China, the famous one, and you have to like you film or you do job for the famous director or famous producer, and you have to take like 3 to 5 years someone finally see you and value you. For verticals, we don't do that. We just find the right producing companies, and we do this thing, and we do really fast. We become better and better after each shoot.
What do you think the future of short drama look like?
I think it's going to grow. I generally think anyone who thinks it's not going to be huge is definitely in the wrong. I thought it's going to be the next big thing. Before Netflix became Netflix, people thought it wasn't going to be a thing, and then look what happened. So yeah, I feel like we're definitely at the beginning of something, considering it's only been going for about 12 to 15 months, maybe. And look how much it's grown already. It's huge. I think it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger. I think the revenues don't lie. And I think audience, interest and stuff also doesn't lie. And the statistics don't lie either.
I think the future of short drama, it might become a really interesting part of people's life, because when the AI have like grow stronger and stronger, maybe in the future we will have more time for entertaining, or it will become a really important way for us to entertaining or have contact with those interesting things. So I think the short drama, maybe it will become more stronger than the film market. It will keep like increasing. The industry is still increasing, and I think just like the AI, at first we just thought it will be a small tool, or it will help us to do something. Currently, today, I use ChatGPT every day, so it has become a really important helper for me. So I think short drama will be the same thing. It will be not just the way for people to entertaining, because I have seen that in China, many shopping markets like Jingdong and Taobao, they have built their own vertical department. So maybe in the future, people see those vertical dramas, they see some costumes or interested things, and they gonna buy it. So this will become our future of maybe not just entertaining. It gonna be another way of marketing or shopping, I think it's a window. It opens many things.
Do you think the film and TV will die and the short drama will dominate the market?
I think film and TV will never die because they are also beautiful things. For example, in the past, people are afraid of the like books will die, but you can see that books never die because the people who will maybe the market will change, maybe they'll go down. But I think maybe in the really long term for the past for the future like 100 years film won't die because it's still a important way for us to like get really into a beautiful story. When you get into the film theater, you watch a movie, you're just like in it, and everything just disappears. Short drama, it just live in our phone and give us different way to have the entertaining or have the happiness.